they made a drastic decision. They would find a mad woman, one with no family to question or judge, to bear them a child. For years, Obinna and his wife Nneka longed for a child. They prayed, fasted, and even visited countless doctors and herbalists, but their arms remained empty. At first, they comforted each other, saying, God's time is the best. But as the years dragged on, their faith began to waver. Neighbors whispered behind their backs, accusing Nneka of being barren. What kind of woman can't give her husband a child? Obinna wasn't spared either. Some even mocked him, calling him a man without a legacy. Nneka cried herself to sleep almost every night, and the once happy couple grew increasingly bitter and desperate. One evening, after another long day of enduring mockery, Nneka said to Obinna, "What if we found another way?
What do you mean?
What if you got another woman pregnant? Not someone respectable, just anyone who could give us a child. No one has to know." Obinna was shocked by the suggestion, but the pain in his wife's eyes forced him to consider it. After days of silence and sleepless nights, they made a drastic decision. They would find a mad woman, one with no family to question or judge, to bear them a child. One rainy afternoon, Obinna spotted a mad woman. She was sitting by the roadside, her hair tangled and her clothes filthy. She muttered to herself and occasionally laughed at invisible companions. To the world, she was insane, but to Obinna, she was their last hope. He approached the mad woman cautiously, offering her food and water. She stared at him with vacant eyes but accepted the meal. Over the next few days, Obinna and Nneka brought her to their home. They cleaned her up, gave her fresh clothes, and fed her properly. For the first time in years, the woman looked human. When the time came, Obinna did what he thought he would never have to do. He shut his eyes, pushed down his shame, and lay with the madwoman. Months passed, and the madwoman's belly grew. Despite her condition, she seemed content in their home. Nneka, however, felt uneasy every time she looked at her. As the woman's due date approached, Nneka couldn't wait to be rid of her. Finally, the day came. The mad woman gave birth to a baby girl. Finally, the day came. The mad woman gave birth to a baby girl. She was beautiful, her skin soft and smooth, her eyes strong and full of life. Obinna named her Ola, meaning wealth, hoping the child will bring them blessings. As soon as Ola was placed in Nneka's arms, she ordered Obinna to take the mad woman away. "She's done her part. Let her go." Obinna led the mad woman back to the streets where he had found her. She didn't resist, wandering off as though nothing had happened. Obinna felt a pang of guilt, but reminded himself it was for the best. For the first year of Ola's life, she was the apple of her parents' eyes, but something unexpected happened. Nneka became pregnant. It was a miracle. When she gave birth to a baby boy, they named him Ikenna, meaning strength of the father. With Ikenna's arrival, Ola's position in the family changed. Nneka, now a proud mother of her own blood, began to resent the little girl who reminded her of their shameful past. Obinna too distanced himself from Ola. They treated Ikenna like a prince, feeding him the best food, dressing him in fine clothes, and showering him with love. Ola, on the other hand, was given scraps to eat and worn-out clothes to wear. As she grew older, she became thin and frail, her once bright eyes dull from neglect.
One cold morning, Nneka found Ola lying lifeless on her mat. The little girl, barely 4 years old, had succumbed to malnutrition. Obinna stood over her tiny body, his eyes pale with guilt. Nneka shed no tears.
She was never really ours.
She muttered. They buried Ola in a shallow grave at the back of their house. Her passing barely acknowledged. Life went on, and their attention returned to Ikenna, their shining star. But peace didn't last long. A few months after Ola's death, Ikenna fell mysteriously ill. What started as a fever quickly turned into something worse. They tried everything: doctors, herbalists, prayers, but nothing worked. One night, as Ikenna lay weak and gasping for breath, Nneka had a dream. In it, Ola appeared to her, a small boy glowing with an underworldly light. Why did you take my life? The girl asked softly. I only wanted to be loved. Nneka woke up screaming, but it was too late. By morning, Ikenna was gone. Grief consumed the couple. The house, that once echoed with children's laughter, now felt empty and haunted again. Nneka couldn't shake the memory of Ola's sad, sunken eyes, and Obinna was tormented by the choices that had brought them to this point. One evening, as they sat in silence, Nneka whispered,
We killed them both. First Ola, then Ikenna. Their blood is in our hands.
Obinna didn't respond. He knew she was right. From that day on, they lived as shadows of their former selves, burdened by the weight of their sins. Their desperation for a child had given them everything they wanted and taken it all away.